Hello everyone. Can you all hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, it's audible.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. I'll wait for another 2 minutes and then we'll start the session. Till then, I'll share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. This is the final extra session for drug delivery principles and engineering. And throughout the course, these were the topics that were covered in the first week: pharmacokinetics, prodrugs and polymers, how the polymer is synthesized, their properties, molecular weight, how all of those things we can determine, that was discussed. And then week 2 was about different kinds of polymers that are used in biomedical applications, how you can form polymer drug conjugates, the diffusion and control release reservoir system. Week 3 was again about erodible and non-erodible systems and reservoir systems and hydrogels. Week 4 talked about nanoparticles and microparticles and liposomes, how they are synthesized, different methods of synthesis. Week 5 was all about the protein adsorption, what is the coating, how biomaterials interact with these protein, and how you can avoid this protein adsorption onto your biomaterial surface, and tissue engineering. And week 6 was about drug delivery and tissue engineering and implant associated infections, biofilm formation, and how to prevent biofilm formation and all other associated infections. And then week 7 and 8 was mostly routes, different routes of delivery and their advantages and disadvantages, and what are the different nanocarriers and immune systems in IV administration. Week 9 was mostly about the immune system, and the blood response to different materials, complement systems, and blood clotting, and what immune responses are triggered when the host comes in contact with the biomaterial. All of those things was discussed in week 9. Week 10 was mostly vaccines, immune isolated cell therapy, and week 11 and 11 was about gene delivery, different vectors, polymers, advantages and disadvantages of different carriers, and cancer vaccine. And in the last week, responsive drug delivery systems, targeted drug delivery systems, as well as nanotoxicology and different translation pathways and practices that are used from the beginning till your product reaches the market. So all of these things were discussed. So in today's session, we'll discuss assignment questions that are from throughout the that were discussed throughout the week. Similar questions to that, starting from week 1 to 12. So it will be a mixture of all those questions. Okay, we'll start with the first question. I hope I'm still audible. Can someone confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the first question. Which of the following characteristics of a drug would likely increase its permeability through a lipid membrane?
Option B.
Okay. What about others?
Option 2.
Okay. Anybody else would like to answer? Yes, both of you are correct. It will be low molecular weight and high hydrophobicity. So since it is a lipid membrane, you would want your drug to interact with it, and then it will pass through it. If it is more hydrophobic and low molecular weight, it can easily be permeable. So option B will be the correct answer. We have the next question here. A polymer sample is made of the following composition: 5 moles of molecular weight 25,000, 10 moles of molecular weight of 35,000, 15 of 40,000. What do you think is the polydispersity index of the polymer? I'll give you some time to solve the question. then we'll discuss. 0.21. Okay. We'll discuss the answer after you people share yours. Don't worry. So yours is 0.21. Anybody else? Yes, anybody else was able to solve? Do you guys know the formula for MW and MN?
Ma'am,
Sorry? Hello?
MW is summation of NI square divided by summation of NI,
Right?
whereas
And
sum
MN?
NI divided by summation of NI.
Yeah. So for polydispersity index, we'll basically use that formula only, which is the PDI is equals to MW by MN. Please excuse my writing. Uh, okay. And as you said, MW is your summation of NI MI square by NI MI, and MN is our summation of NI MI by summation of Ni. So here N is the number of moles and M is the molecular weight. So the this one will be Ni 5 into molecular weight is 25,000. It will be basically 25,000 square 25,000 square plus the next one, which is 10 into 35,000 square and 15 into 40,000 square. So all of these you add up, and below this it will be 5 into 25,000, 5 into 25,000 plus 10 into 35,000, 10 into 35,000, and so on. And now on the bottom part, Mn would be Ni. So it will be 5 into 25,000, 5 into 25,000, basically the same thing as the top one, but plus 10 into 35,000 and 15 into 40,000 divided by 5 plus 10 plus 15. So basically you have to calculate this entire thing, and if you according to my calculation, this will the MW is coming to basically 38 point something, 38.4, and the Mn is coming to 34.1, 34.1. So this will basically give me a value of 1.12. Okay. Did anybody else get this answer? Was anybody else able to solve it? I hope I'm still audible. Okay, so basically the polydispersity index is MW by Mn, and MW is summation of NiMi square by summation of NiMi, and Mn is summation of NiMi by summation of Ni. You have to individually calculate both MW and Mn and then get the ratio that will give you a polydispersity index. For your exam, it will be a round of or a range of number. If you get around 1.1 or zero point 0.9 or 1, if you write 1 also, it should be fine. You'll get a range, not necessarily 1.12 or exact number they'll ask. Moving on to the next question. In a step growth polymerization reaction, which of the following statement is true?
Option
Option A. Okay. What about others?
Option A.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, anybody else would like to answer? In a step growth polymerization reaction, which of the following statements is true? Okay, so there are two different types of polymerization reaction. One is step growth, and another is chain reaction. In step growth, your initial monomers will start reacting with each other, and different kinds of different number of different sizes of chains will form, and these sizes can join together to like form a bigger size. This is step reaction, where one one monomer can add to a chain of two, or two different or a dimonom or one oligomer can attach with another and form a bigger chain. So this is the step reaction. And in the chain reaction, only one monomer attaches to the initial one. So this will like form two, and then the another one will come and form interact with these two to form a three unit chain. So basically here, one by one the monomer will come and attach and the chain will grow. But here in the step reaction, there are random attachments, and the chain grows eventually by attaching to each other, but there is no specific reaction going on. So here the growth occurs only by successive addition of monomers to growing chains. This is basically chain reaction and not step reaction. And molecular weight increases fast while monomer consumption is slow. So uh, molecular weight is increasing fast here in chain reaction, because from 3 to 4 3 units to 4 units, it is eventually getting bigger and bigger at every step. But here it's like there is a mixture of single units, double units, triple units, so there are very small chains. So monomer is consumed rapidly here to form these different small units, while the molecular weight increases very slowly. And in the chain reaction, only an initiator is needed. In the step reaction, there are functional groups and they interact with each other. There is no specific initiator needed for that. So the correct statement here would be molecular weight. Monomer is consumed rapidly, but the molecular weight increases very slowly. Only towards the end, when the bigger chains will interact with each other, it will form a bigger chain, and the final molecular weight will be bigger. So option C will be the correct answer here. Okay, moving on to the next question. Which of the following statements about polyethylene glycol or PEG is incorrect.
Option B.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think it's option D.
Option D. B.
D.
The last option.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, I'm sorry to say this, but there is some error in my part in forming this question. I forgot to change one word here, but then most of the options seem correct here. If you see, pegylation is used in hydrophilic drug delivery systems since PEG is has more water absorption capability and it is hydrophilic. Pegylation can reduce the immunogenicity of a protein. If you tag protein and pegylated, it will basically reduce the absorption of other proteins and attachment of the host proteins into your delivered protein. PEG is commonly used in hydrophobic drug delivery systems. This is what I was. This option is kind of where I messed up. So, PEG is a hydrophilic polymer, but it can be modified and used in hydrophobic drug delivery systems as well. So, I was planning to make this option uh, as change this option. I'm really sorry for this, but this is also correct in this case. And pegylation can improve circulation time of drugs in the bloodstream. So if you're pegylating your drugs or your particles, it is basically preventing absorption of proteins onto your pegylated molecule, which will eventually reduce interaction with immune cells and all of those things, and increases its circulation time in their bloodstream. So most of these options are correct regarding PEG in this question. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is true about glass transition temperature of a polymer?
Option B.
B. Okay. Anybody else?
Option B.
Option B. Okay. What about others? Which of the following is true about the glass transition temperature of a polymer? Okay, so the correct answer here would be option C. Above Tg, amorphous regions of the polymer become soft and flexible. So the glass transition temperature, or Tg, below this, the amorphous polymers are in a hard glassy state, and as you increase the temperature, as you go above Tg, there is some mobility between the polymer chains and it becomes more flexible and rubbery. So option C will be the correct answer. Above Tg, amorphous regions of the polymer become soft and flexible. And other options such as Tg is typically higher than melting temperature is wrong. It is first Tg, then Tc, and at last you have Tm, which is the highest temperature. And below Tg, polymers are mostly in a hard crystalline state. Okay, moving on to the next question. A drug has an initial plasma concentration of 8 mg per ml. After 2 hours, the concentration is 4 mg per ml. Assuming first order kinetics, what is the drug's half-life? Yes, anybody? If a drug has an initial plasma concentration of 8 mg per ml, after 2 hours the concentration is 4 mg per ml, assuming first order kinetics, what is the drug's half-life? I hope I'm still audible. Can someone confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What will be the half-life?
Ma'am, is it 2 hours?
Yes, it is right there in the answer. You don't need to calculate here. So here it is asking a drug's initial plasma concentration is 8 mg per ml. And after 2 hours, the concentration is 4 mg per ml. So what is half-life? Half-life is basically the time it takes for the initial amount of drug to reduce by half. Here it is going from 8 to 4, which is basically half. And the time it takes is 2 hours. So basically it is 2 hours only. If it was some other concentration, then you need to calculate your K from that, and then using that K you calculate, uh, or basically you put it into the first order reaction to get your half-life. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following techniques is commonly used to create nanoparticles for drug delivery?
All of the above.
Okay. What about others? What about others? Which of these are the common techniques for creating nanoparticles in drug delivery?
Option D.
Option B. Okay.
Option D.
Option D. Okay.
All of the above.
Okay. Yes, both of you are correct. Spray drying, solvent evaporation, emulsion polymerization, all of these techniques are used for creating nanoparticles. Okay, moving on to the next question. Which of the following statements about biofilms on implants is false?
Last option.
Okay,
Option A and D.
okay. What about others? Anybody else would like to answer which of the following statements about biofilms on implant is false? Anybody? So the correct answer here would be option D. Biofilms are easy to eliminate with standard antimicrobial treatments. So basically, biofilms are like when you introduce your implants into the host, there are several bacteria associated infections. These bacteria cover the surface of these uh, implants and they start secreting several polymeric substances, protein, carbohydrates, all those things, glycoproteins, and polysaccharides. All of these things form a coating over the implant, and these bacteria get embedded over this biofilm kind of thing. So it protects the bacteria, and if you supply antibiotics, it is very difficult for the antibiotics to penetrate through these biofilms and act on the bacteria. But this and it contributes to this implant associated infections and uh, prevents the host immune system to act on it as well. So the only false statement here is it is easy to eliminate with standard antimicrobial treatments. Okay. In the next question is about in a reservoir based drug delivery system, how is the drug released?
Last option.
Okay. Anybody else?
Option D.
Okay. Okay. So the correct answer here would be option A. It diffuses mainly through a porous membrane. So a reservoir system is basically you have a high concentrated drug reservoir in core, and then it is coated by your polymeric substance or a porous membrane, and based on diffusion only it comes out of from a high gradient core to the lower gradient outside. So based on diffusion is the main mechanism by which reservoir based drug delivery system work. Okay, moving on to the next question. A drug is administered to a patient and the rate of elimination is measured as 50 mg per minute. If the drug concentration in the plasma is 10 mg per ml, what is the clearance rate of the drug in liter per minute?
5 liters per minute.
Okay. What about others? Um, so actually one of the options, all of these options are wrong. Just look into the question again. I'll discuss the correct answer, but just wanted to let you know that you need to don't look at the options here. Calculate on your own and just tell me what you think the correct answer is.
Ma'am, it will be 5 into 10 power minus 3 liters per minute.
Yes, yes, that is the correct answer. So here basically the rate of elimination is 50 mg per minute and the drug concentration is 10 mg per ml, and it is asked for drug in liter per minute. While solving the answer, make sure you are looking at the units, what is there in the given values and what is the question asking. So here it is asking for clearance rate of the drug. So the clearance rate is basically rate of elimination by plasma concentration. So which is basically rate of elimination given here is 50 and plasma concentration is 10. So it should be 5 mg, 5 ml per minute and 5 ml is basically 5 into 10 power minus 3 liter, or 0.005 liter per minute. So that will be the correct answer. Okay, moving on to the next question. Which of the following is not a property of hydrogels used in biomedical applications?
Option C.
Okay. Anybody else? Which of the following is not a property of hydrogen? Yes, anyone? Okay, so the correct answer here is option D, ability to dissolve completely in water. So hydrogels are basically polymeric networks that are able to hold water. So they have a high water content and they are biodegradable. So they slowly degrade and then they can release your drugs. And ability to release drugs in response to environmental stimuli. So there are several hydrogels that responds to pH, temperature, enzymes, or other different kinds of stimuli. So they can be also used. The ability to completely dissolve in water. So in presence of water, it should not completely dissolve. Rather, it will absorb water and hold it in there for cells, proteins, and all of these therapeutic components that are encapsulated in these hydrogels. So if it is asking for which of these is not a property of hydrogels, it is basically ability to completely dissolve in water. However, it does degrade slowly or in response to enzymes and other triggers, whatever you use, but it does not dissolve completely in just water. Okay, moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an advantage of oral drug delivery system?
Option B.
Option B.
Option
B.
B. Okay. Two of you were answering, right? Uh, wo- both of you are selecting option B?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Anybody else? Second one, okay. Yes, all of you are correct. The only advantage here with respect to oral drug delivery system is that it is highly patient compliance due to the ease of administration. You have to simply take it, swallow the medicine basically or uh, with water, and that is as easy as that. But it does not avoid first pass metabolism, and it does not have high bioavailability compared to other routes, and rapid drug action compared to inhalation. That needs to be a comparison specific to drugs, but yeah, the only advantage here is increased patient compliance due to ease of administration. Okay, next question. Which of the following is a key factor contributing to biofilm formation on medical implants?
Option D.
Option D. Okay. What about others?
Option D.
Okay. Yes, both of you are correct. So here it is asking for key factor that contributes to biofilm formation, and all of these factors, basically surface roughness, hydrophobicity, and protein absorption, all of these will increase bacterial attachment and eventually biofilm formation. So all of these contribute to biofilm formation. Okay, so that was the last question I had. If anybody has any question or any other doubts, we can look into that. Otherwise, that's all for today's session, and all the best for your exams.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If nobody has any doubts, then we can close this session here. Or if you have doubts, you can stay.
Ma'am, having biofilm on the implant, is it advantages or disadvantages? Ma'am, I have doubt from the starting of the topic itself.
I couldn't understand. Can you repeat again?
Like having biofilm on the implant, is it good for the patient or is it affects the patient, ma'am? Because bacteria forms a layer on the implant, right?
Yeah. So bacteria continues to show its virulence and it will affect it, no? So it's bad thing for the patient basically. It's like bacteria is protecting itself under the biofilm, but it is still attracting more immune cells, right? So your body will try to keep on attacking it because it is not able to remove it and continuously fighting with the bacterial, and your this antibiotics and all of those routine methods are also not able to clear this. So it is like an host evading mechanism for the bacteria, but it still persists and you can suffer from further infections from these bacteria. When you are
Okay, ma'am.
implanting something into the host body, you don't want any interaction with that unless it is something specific. Like if you want your tissue to interact with the implant, that is a different thing. But if you want it to remain inert and just perform its function, then you don't want any bacterial deposition on it so that it can form biofilm and continue infection. So it is a bad thing.
Okay, ma'am.
Anybody has any other doubt?
No, ma'am, no doubt.
Okay, you can leave the session.